London. Every year, millions of tourists come to London to see all the famous landmarks. But there is also another London, full of strange sights and mysteries. Trafalgar Square. In the middle of Trafalgar Square is Nelson's column. Lord Nelson won the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, but was hit by a bullet and died on his ship. His statue now stands on a column that is more than 50 meters tall. The night before the statue was put there, 14 workers had dinner on the top of the column. At the foot of the column there are 4 statues of lions. Sometimes the post office gets letters like this one. To Lord Nelson, Trafalgar Square, London. They always send them back, if they can, with this note. Can't deliver. He is guarded by 4 lions. If you look around the square, you will see the world's smallest police station in one corner. It is not much larger than a telephone box, and it has room for only one person. The lamp on the top of it came from Nelson's ship, the Victory. Maybe there is a treasure hidden here. About 200 years ago, a woman tried to save the French crown jewels. She brought them to London and hid them. They have never been found again. The woman went back to France. She was killed before she could tell anybody where she had hidden them. Horatio Nelson was a captain in the English Navy. When England was at war with France in 1805, Nelson beat the French fleet at Cape Trafalgar. He died in the battle. Trafalgar Square in London is named after the battle. Not far from London Bridge stands St. James's Church. This is the home of Jimmy the Mummy. Jimmy was found by some gravediggers in the churchyard. No one really knows how old Jimmy is. Perhaps he is as old as the church, about 600 years. Jimmy was put on show in a cupboard with glass doors. On the cupboard you can read this verse: "Stop, stranger, stop as you pass by. As you are now, so once was I. As I am now, soon you will be. So pray prepare to follow me." During the Second World War, people began to see Jimmy walking around in their church. Some people say he got scared by a bomb that fell near the church. But if you visit the church today, you will see more tourists than ghosts. Now Jimmy has disappeared. People say that the minister has hidden Jimmy in a place where he can have some peace and quiet at last. Cleopatra's Needle is the oldest monument in London. It is from Egypt and it is more than 3,000 years old. In 1878 it was brought to London. It was put up next to the River Thames. In the ground under it someone placed things like a box of cigars, a portrait of Queen Victoria, a railway timetable, a newspaper, a safety pin and photos of the 12 most beautiful women in England. The person who did this wanted people in the future to know what people and some of the things that people used in the 19th century looked like. They say there's a ghost here. Late at night people have seen a shadowy figure standing on the wall by the river. It jumps from the wall, but disappears before it hits the water. Nobody knows who it is. Madame Tussauds was born in Switzerland. She learned how to make wax figures from her uncle. In 1835 she opened a wax museum in London. At Madame Tussauds you can see many of the world's most famous people. The Beatles are probably the world's most famous pop group. St. Paul's Cathedral is about 300 years old. Many famous people are buried here. Oliver Twist is the story of a boy who became a thief. It was written in 1838 by England's greatest novelist, Charles Dickens. The Tower of London. Halt. Who was there? The keys. Whose keys? Queen Elizabeth's keys. God preserve Queen Elizabeth. Amen. These words can be heard every night just before 10 o'clock. They mean that the tower's been locked up for the night. The ceremony of the keys is at least 700 years old. What is the tower? The tower has been many things. A palace, a fortress, a prison, a place of execution, a zoo. Today it is best known as a historical museum, and many come to see the crown jewels. About 150 people and more than 6 ravens live here. The zoo. King sometimes gets strange presents. About 700 years ago, King Henry III got 3 leopards, 1 elephant and a polar bear. He kept them in the tower. The elephant died after 2 years, but the polar bear was happy as it went swimming and fishing in the Thames with a strong rope around its neck. That was the start of the London Zoo. In 1835, all animals were sent to the zoo in Regent's Park. Only the ravens stay on. The ravens. There are always at least 6 ravens at the tower. The first ones probably built their nests here, because they like the old stone houses and walls. There is a story that they bring good luck to Britain if they stay at the tower. That is why they get paid meat and biscuits every day. But their wings are also cut so they can't fly away. They are not very friendly. Once one of them hit a German minister. The beefeaters. The beefeaters used to guard the tower and its prisoners. Today they work mostly as guides. They show people around and tell stories about all the terrible things that happened here in the past. When they are guiding, they wear blue uniforms. The prison. The tower was a royal palace long ago. Then it became a prison. Kings, queens and noblemen were locked up here. Many, like Lady Jane Grey, lost their heads on Tower Green, inside the walls, or nearby on Tower Hill. The last time it was used as a prison was during the Second World War, when German spies were kept and sometimes shot here.